You want to know how it feels when the person you built your whole world around reaches their dream and decides you don't belong in it anymore? The day my wife became a doctor, I thought it was the proudest day of our lives. But that same evening, she handed me divorce papers with a smile. 2 years later, when she came crawling back, her face told me everything. Karma doesn't forget. My name is Rachel, and this is how my so-called perfect husband learned the price of betrayal. When I married Ethan, he wasn't rich, successful, or even particularly ambitious, but I loved him deeply. I believed in him when no one else did. I worked 2 jobs to help him finish med school, cooked, cleaned, and supported every sleepless night he had. He'd always say, "When I become a doctor, everything will change. I'll make it all up to you." And he was right about one thing. Everything did change, just not the way I expected. After years of sacrifice, the day finally came. Ethan graduated with his medical degree. I remember sitting in the audience, clapping so hard my palms stung, tears running down my face. He looked handsome, confident, like the man I had dreamed of. That night, I cooked his favorite meal, decorated the house with balloons, and played our wedding song. When he came home, I ran to him with a smile, but his face was blank, cold. He didn't hug me back. Instead, he sat down, placed a folder on the table, and said quietly, "Rachel, I think we need to talk." I laughed nervously. "What's wrong?" He pushed the folder toward me. "These are divorce papers. I've been seeing someone else." My body froze. "You're joking, right? This isn't funny." He shook his head. "It's not a joke. I met her at the hospital. She's also a doctor. We have more in common. You've been supportive, but I've outgrown this life." Supportive. That word hit harder than any slap. I'd spent a decade building his dream, and now he was discarding me like a helper he no longer needed. He stood up, emotionless. "I'll make sure you're taken care of financially. I just don't love you anymore." That night, I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I signed the papers with shaking hands and whispered, "Congratulations, doctor. I hope she knows what she's getting." He left. The first few months were hell. I cried until I couldn't anymore. Everyone told me to move on, but how do you move on when you've given everything? When your love story ends the moment his success begins. But pain is a strange teacher. It burns you until you find your strength. I decided to rebuild my life piece by piece. I went back to college, finished my degree in psychology, and started working at a clinic that helped struggling families. Slowly, the sadness faded. I learned to live without Ethan, and eventually, I learned to smile again. 2 years later, I was running a community wellness program when a familiar name popped up on my schedule: Dr. Ethan Carter. My stomach turned, but I kept my calm. When he walked in, I barely recognized him. The confident man I once knew looked worn out, stressed, hollow. He smiled awkwardly. "Hi, Rachel." I crossed my arms. "You're my appointment?" He sighed. I didn't know where else to go. He sat down and started talking about how his new marriage had fallen apart, how the woman he left me for had cheated on him with another doctor, how his reputation had taken a hit, and how he couldn't sleep anymore. "I made a mistake," he whispered. "You were the one who actually cared about me. I didn't see it until I lost everything." I listened silently, my heart steady this time. When he was done, he looked up, eyes desperate. "Do you think we could ever start over?" I smiled softly, but there was no warmth in it. "Ethan, I'm not the woman you left behind. I'm stronger now, not someone who'll fix your broken ego." He swallowed hard. "So, that's it?" I nodded. "That's it. You taught me that love without respect isn't love at all. Thank you for showing me who I never want to be with again." He lowered his head, ashamed. I walked him to the door, and before he left, I added, "By the way, congratulations, you became a doctor, but maybe someday you'll learn how to be a man." That was the last time I saw him. Word around town is that he moved away, started over, but never found the same happiness he once had. As for me, I found peace, not in revenge, but in knowing that I didn't need to destroy him. Life did that for me. Because sometimes the sweetest revenge is simply becoming everything they thought you couldn't be without them. If you liked the video, please subscribe and turn on notifications.